Welcome to the Real Nigga Podcast. Well, guys, we back once again. Before I get into it, I like to put niggas over, you know what I'm saying? Give my shout outs. And of course tell the news that's going on. Jazz Mar recently dropped his podcast with Little 007. It has a shoot on it. Is what people are labeling it as. Jazz Mar talking about, the pizza being left out and, excuse me, roaches crawling on and shit. And he was mad as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And some people saying, that started a beef with Jazz and Justin. I don't know about all that shit. You know what I mean? But shout out to Little 007. Shout out to Jazz. You know what I mean? He get them real exclusives cause stuff that Little 007 spoke on was shit like his family and his dad being a dick. You know what I'm saying? And all these other different things. And it really gave you from how you say it, a rise and fall story, I should say. You know what I'm saying? It gave you a real rise and fall story, and it was told very well. And I think that was dope. And I want to give a special thank you to all the fans that a lot of people enjoyed my last podcast with Flamindo. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people thought it was super funny. You know what I'm saying? I just had a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me a second. Real fast, to interrupt myself. Going back to Jazz Mars podcast, I just want to speak on some shit, Jazz spoke on, of course, working on the Cosby Show. Wells won't be still on his one scene. And let me just say that I strongly agree. Wells, sit your ass there, Dad. Stop moving, alright? All you gotta do is smoke a blunt and make an expression and get paid for it. That's it, nigga. Ain't nobody telling you to move. You know what I'm saying? Sound easy, right? Wouldn't you just quit your 1 to 5 just to get paid however much this nigga getting paid a whole lot of money? You know what I'm saying? Just to not move and smoke. You know what I mean? You got the world in your hands right now, nigga. And you fucking it up by moving. But going back to my Real Nigga podcast, I forgive myself for interrupting myself. A lot of people questioning me, a lot of fans going in, they said, at the end of the podcast, they like, damn, did they burn you alive, 90? Like they said they was gonna do? Nah, Sandra walked in the room. They got scared. And also, what else happened? People said, Flamindo, 90, you fought 10 Money at the pay-per-view. Not Flamindo. The fuck is you talking about? Well, I made a mistake. Stop cussing, bitch. I actually forgot that I fought, not 10 Money, but Big 10. And it like I forgot to really go in on that. I really had a good match with him though, you know what I'm saying? Flamindo was telling me, he was talking about a time where he fought Big 10. I bit my lip. And it was a good match. And shit like that. He said that while he was trying to burn me. And then Sandra came in the room. He got caught, got scared. And yeah. And that's as far as the news. We're still working on a whole lot of shit, but on to tonight's program. This is gonna be a bit different and quite difficult. You know what I'm saying? One thing I hope you guys realize with all these different podcasts we done since when we started doing this shit, like April or something. One thing I hope y'all realize is that the West Coast really goes all out. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as our history of doing things or whatever, we really take it far. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just like some shit like, yeah, man, we just bullshit. Like, nah, nigga, we take it to that other level. And I Let me get a sip of water. Let me get it. Hey. I just, shit. Let me get another sip. Oh, shit, it ain't no more. I just, looked at a lot of comments and, did a whole lot of studying, you know what I mean? And that's just the history of XTV, us always going in on a topic or whatever, And tonight is going to be no different of that. Special guest I'm going to have is a guest that's beyond life. I'm talking about a guest that has killed 2 people in his history of existing in XTV. Not including the many people he has injured or made forgettable throughout his illustrious career within XTV, And my way of contacting him is not how I contacted Flamingo or whoever I've had on this shit. I'm not going to talk to this nigga over the phone. No. Nah. This guest does not exist. So therefore, I have to travel to his gravesite. I have to read a sacred chant. You ain't got to do it with me. And awaken his spirit so he can communicate with the questions and answers that I have for him. I mean, with my questions, and I want him to answer it. You know what the fuck I'm saying? I'm scared. It's just what's supposed to go on, and my guess is none other than dead. You know what I'm saying? A legend in XTV West. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's ever conducted an interview with him or asked him about his life before death and his life after death. So I'm gonna be the first person to go there and do what I gotta do to contact this demonic spirit, you know what I mean, and get a sit down listen for an exclusive and rare interview with such a figure on tonight's Real Nigga Podcast. I do it because I love y'all, and this might be one of them controversial ones, but hey, at least it was real. Alright, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I believe I took the right steps to his original grave. Out here in that grave site where Anthony and Antonio Granddaddy buried. You know what I'm saying? Over there. That's where I'm at. Alright. They said to put the dust right here. Okay. Do this and I gotta say this with a deep voice. Let's try this. Okay. We have contacted the spirit. Dead, will you speak?
How are you, Andy?
What's up, nigga?
Chill.
So, Dad, you first got your start in XTV, and I want to say 1996, man. You know what I mean?
Yes. 1996 was my start year.
Before this, what was going on? I mean, what was life before death, and then during death, and now.
I had an innocent life. Originally, I was born in 1940. To my mother and father, Jesse and Donnie Benjamin. And well, throughout my childhood, I experienced various trauma. My youngest brother was born in 1952 and due to a childhood accident, he was left disabled.
Do you care to go into that accident?
I will, if you would shut the fuck up.
Oh, my bad.
Well, we were at a concert, 1952. It was an all-star lineup. Judy Garland, Marilyn Monroe. It was a lit-ass concert for 1952, basically. And the opening act was, of course, Memphis Minnie. Known for her big hit, Pig Meat on the Line. She was an African American woman, of course from Memphis, Tennessee. So it was very rare to see a black act opening for white acts on stage.
Word.
Our family went to the concert enjoying ourselves, you know. It was one of those different concerts where it wasn't a lot of violence. Violence was not the entertaining method back then. It was just sit there and listen to the soul that these three different women have to spew across through their music. I was entertained, as well as my younger brother, my mother Jessie, and whatever I just said my dad name was. When all of a sudden, something went wrong. The speaker set on the ceiling of the theater collapsed. My younger brother went to get a yo-yo he was playing with earlier, and he accidentally dropped. He went to go get it. And before I could say, wait, £50 speaker came crashing down on him. A miracle he didn't die. However, he was left disabled. Mentally, physically. And as for myself and my parents, emotionally, we were disabled as well.
Some fucked up shit, man.
It wasn't easy. As time wore on, it just got very difficult to work with my little brother and take care of him, you know, because now in modern times I'm aware of different medicines and things you can do as far as treatment for people that are left disabled due to a traumatic event. But back then in the 50s, there wasn't a whole lot of things we had to treat, you know, people with disabilities.
I mean, what would you say his disability was? Did he stutter, or you know?
No, it was far worse. He was disabled and he couldn't care on himself, urinating on himself, defecation, and, you know, just not even speaking, just looking straight up, as if he's staring at that speaker like, do it again, bitch ass motherfucker.
Crazy, Dad. It's getting cold out here.
So, being that we didn't know how to take care of my baby brother, it got so bad, he would just have behaviors out of nowhere, screaming, getting glasses and throwing them at every family member. We had a family gathering, Thanksgiving, 1959, and this is where it really hit the haywire. My little brother grabs the different glasses out of the cabinets and throws them at each family member. My grandma got cut, serious bruises. Everybody got hit. We couldn't control them.
I mean, wait. Hold on. How in the fuck did this happen? I mean, you just said he was disabled. You know what I mean? How was he able to get up from this?
We don't know what happened. All we know is that's how he was. He was always disabled, you know. But somehow, I don't know what it was, but it went in his body that I can stand up today. I can grab a glass today. I can toss this shit. I can launch it at my mother, my father, my brother, whoever the fuck that is. Nigga, I don't know you. Each family member and guest of that occasion were all injured. It was after that incident when the family got well. Where we finally said, like a dog, we had to put my brother down.
Oh shit.
Now, you gotta understand, I'm the oldest. So I love my mom and dad. I knew them before him. And I looked at him as a tyrant. As a disrespectful, attention-grabbing tyrant that wants to destroy this whole family. So my dad was too scared to put him in the back with a 12 gauge and blast his head off. My mother was the same way. But me, on the other hand, I did not care. I wanted to kill that spirit that was in my brother. And without thinking, my mom's upstairs asleep, my dad's upstairs asleep. Bang! That's all they heard. And that once dark, hurt feeling I had inside was gone away. And it was met with relief. No longer does my brother have to suffer no more. No longer does my family have to suffer anymore. We are now at peace, I feel. That is until each member woke up from the gun blast, seeing what I had done, and to my shock, they tore my ass up.
Shit is crazy, Dad.
It was deeper than being grounded. And, that's when they quickly said, fuck this. We don't need no more kids. And I was put into an orphan home. Having that, all these different things, my brother, my mom, and all this different stuff, to be just thrown into an orphanage. You didn't know what life was at that young age. You just knew what had happened to you and how you felt because of it. That leaves you with no care for your actions, no care of nothing, no care of your character,
Well, crazy ass story, that crazy story. Made me feel like the streets wasn't shit. So dead. You say that left you dead. I mean, when you went to the orphanage, was it a tad better? Just go in, nigga. I don't even know what to ask.
Well, going into the orphanage was quite different, you know. I truly believe that when you put humans in conditions, they make their own conditions according to the conditions. You see, the orphanage that I was placed in was the orphanage that didn't really care about the children. This is now, I'll say, 62. Laws aren't as strict or for kids as they are now, so it was quite different, you know, and a lot of abuse went on if you didn't do what they told you to do, the way they told you to do it. So a lot of kids hung themselves and a lot of kids made games. They made their rules, they made their own conditions, and those primitive minds made their own culture. I was the new kid. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew the pain that I dealt with was still affecting me. I wasn't very attentive in school. I went from the gifted program to TMH.
What's TMH?
Totally mentally handicapped. The questions were easy. How much is 2 stars? Everybody in the class would get the answer wrong. But I would say, 2, motherfucker, you just told me. Of course, get kicked out of class. Once the people at the orphanage would find out of my behavior, punishment was immediate.
Now, usually, if somebody just grabbed and drunk my water on my podcast that I made, I would whoop their ass. But you different, man. Cause I'm scared as fuck of you. Want some more?
Fine.
So moving forward, I mean, you say the kids had their own sets. You came in, of course, hurt from the trauma you experienced as a child. how did you adapt to, you know, those conditions, you know, the abuse and all that, you know?
Well, I didn't. This situation made me worse because it was about survival. And the way you build yourself up in the orphanage I was placed in, you had to get really good. Like Tommy, Leroy the villain.
Tommy Leroy the villain? Who's that?
Well, Tommy, Leroy the villain, was born in that orphanage. He was just a kid just like us. He was there when the gang stuff started. BDSK and all these other different things going on. He was there when that first started.
What's BDSK stand for?
Black Disciple Skullcrackers. You know, he was there when that whole stuff started, from the first gang to the second gang to you ain't gang to bang bang. He was there at the early primitive years, and to the now is even worse and even more primitive. But the thing is, he got good with the staff. And he went from a child in the orphanage to being a person watching over the orphanage. And all the abuse he dealt with, being the first person within that orphanage, he placed on us. And everybody wanted to be Tommy.
Leroy the villain.
Everybody wanted to be him. You know, that was a success story to us at that young age. Somebody that just came from all this abuse that now they get to dish it out on everybody. And it's okay. And get a check. Man, I want to be Tommy, Leroy the villain.
So why was he called the villain?
He would lock you in the closet, eating the remains of a dead person. You could tell. I seen Tommy Leroy the villain eating a whole human being. No one would believe you. You could tell 30 people, 40, 50 people about Tommy Leroy the villain doing all these different things. They wouldn't believe you. You're just a child making up stories. Now go to your room and get abused. And once Tommy finds out you told on him, You were now the remains that he was eating, and he's showing somebody else that misbehaved. Why? You don't fuck with Tommy, Leroy the villain.
Hey, Dad, you ever rap, dog? Fucking with you. You ain't gotta look at me like that. But, yeah. So, dealing with that, so that was the thing, you know what I'm saying, to get good with the staff. And, I'm sure that was hard, you know, within that orphanage. Did you ever attempt?
I tried to. If you snitched, it would just be caught and all these different things going on, you know. It wasn't easy to get on the staff's good side because they immediately noticed when you were trying. If you would tell them good morning, it's like, it's not a good morning for you. I beat your ass last night. So, no, Knight. I mean, yeah, I tried, but nobody got too far like Tommy. So I said, I know what these guys aren't doing that I can do. I could kill Tommy, Leroy, the villain. And I plotted it, thought about it in school. Wrote about it in journals. How I would kill him in front of every staff and kid in the orphanage. And eat his remains myself. So, I decided to be horrible in school. Horrible. Just so, because you gotta understand, the class that I was in, the orphanage I was in, they really wanted to punish you. They wanted to make you an example. So if you did something so terrible, they would beat you in front of everybody, the kids and everybody around. The whole neighborhood got a whole show. Watch this badass kid get whooped. Oh wow, that's entertaining. Can I take a selfie? Oh no, it's the 60s. And everybody would just sometimes even take part in it. Especially Tommy. Leroy the villain. And well, after misbehaving so bad, they of course found out and grabbed me in front of everybody. Tommy had this sinister look on his face, quickly approaching me, and almost without even thinking, there's a fist to my face. He hits me with rights, lefts, chops, a beating I've never experienced before, especially by an adult. Elbows to the throat, elbows to the face, all kinds of abuse I'm taking. But what he didn't know is I had a dagger in the back of my pants. Tommy goes for one more right. I try to move, but my pants got in the way. And that right caught me so hard. Dazed, but still remember what I need to do. I stand up, slowly, face to face with Johnny. He says, "You're a dumb son of a bitch for facing me like this." And I say, "You're a dead son of a bitch." Grab the dagger quickly, right to the Adam's elbow. The onlookers looked in disgust, shock, as he gargled his life away. I took a huge chunk of his neck and started to dissect it. I ate through his neck. Onlookers tried to get involved, but they were too disgusted by that sight. Blood getting on each kid in attendance, adult. Tommy, Leroy, the villain, was no more. Enjoying this sense of freedom. We're not gonna have to deal with this evil anymore. I'm so happy. I'm so proud. I get up. All the kids look from disgust to happy. And they all applaud. And I stand up with the few remains of Johnny, about to say thank you when then I choke. I choke really bad. I don't know what's going on. I'm choking on the remains of Tommy, Leroy, the villain. No one would help. They just looked. All I remember from that point is darkness. And that feeling of death I felt when I first moved into that orphanage. Was no longer a feeling. It was reality.
Yeah. Where my files went? Where my files went? Oh, thanks. You know, I ain't even ask you your name. You know what I'm saying? This whole podcast, nigga, I still don't know your real name.
Just call me Dad.
Sound like you said just call me Dad. You would have had to call, call FireFly, you know. Anyways. So going to it. You died. You dead, nigga.
I was dead. And for some reason, I was awakened. Spirit was awakened. I don't know what happened. All I know is the first thing I seen was, here lies dead. 1944 to 1962. And my grave is right next to Tommy. Leroy the villain. I look at Tommy's remains. I look at myself once I finally get up and see a broken car outside of what used to be the orphanage I was raised in. And through my reflection I see I have some of the same features as Tommy. However, the skull and worms dripping proved that I'm dead.
And then you signed the contract to SIDE and wrestled.
Yes. But as many people have mentioned about SIDE, it was quite different. You see, they were in need of new talent because, well, they were just in need for any kind of talent.
I know what you mean, Dad. You know what I mean?
You cutting me off?
Nah, Tommy, Leroy the villain. I just want to just make this point right fast. Don't kill me yet. But You know, when it first started, they signed me. They went to the hood. You know what I'm saying? Billy Rojo, of course, went to the hood. You know, and he was like, "Hey man, you know, I like your style." Like, I think what SIDE was competing with was the WWF Monday Night Raws and, you know, the WCW, ECW shit going on. And, you know, they wanted to compete with that. And the only way to really compete with those competitors is to outdo them on things they ain't really tapping into. So, you know, Billy Rojo went to the hood. You feel me? And he seen us. You know what I'm saying? He seen me just chilling, you know, 90%. And he said, you know, you a violent ass nigga, but you good enough for our company. You know what I'm saying? And that's how he hired me. And I think that's what they was doing with SIDE, getting the most, you know what I'm saying, like trying to compete with that. The NWO just beat up Rey Mysterio. Like, anybody can beat his little ass, nigga. That ain't nothing special. But what we did, we beat anybody, and we wasn't afraid. We were soulless gangsters. And you was a dead nigga that's probably on some Ouija shit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's probably how they contacted your spirit. Kind of like how I did, which I now regret, of course. And, you know, that's just how they kind of signed the roster.
Truth being said, how they contacted me is through a spiritual advisor, Marie Jo Young, who I later found out was the owner of the orphanage. She is no longer. However, I thank her for signing me to SIDE and giving death new life.
So, I mean, you started off as some people called you an Undertaker ripoff. You know what I mean? They seen you the dead nigga, you coming out there, and, you know, your whole moveset.
Yes,
Yes, you gotta call a little bit. Sorry. I leave. I mean, go ahead. Strong shag, sir.
signing to SIDE was great because they just told me to go up there and do my thing, and I did. And they put me against people like Smiley, Happy. That's the wrong thing for me to see. Because my past is anything but happy, smiling. It felt like when I fought Smiley, it felt like he was smiling at the pain that I endured during my previous traumatic life. I didn't understand him. I didn't care to. So we had to go. Happy. Anything about the story I told you, was that happy? Was it good that Tommy Leroy did what he did? Or anybody within the orphanage? Was it good? Now. So, Smiley and Happy met their ultimate deaths.
crazy, dog. You know, when you kill such characters, give me a second. When you kill such characters, dead, what does that do for you?
I had the energy they once had. I had the life that they once had. And as a result, I'm able to live. Killing gave me more life.
Wow. So, going into different things, I get into a few with you, of course.
Yes, yes.
You know, fighting you was hard, man. Cause you see, as y'all know, I'm 90% Flamindo. I do my gang shit and all this. But it was different. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm in the gang, you know what I'm saying? Gang, gang, gang. Then I see this nigga. Damn, you laughed.
Your smiling spirit.
Oh. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm sitting there like, yeah, I'm gonna kick this nigga ass, you know what I'm saying? He's sorry. And I remember trying to take off your mask. You know what I'm saying? It was a little SIDE moment. I'm trying to take off your mask, like, take that shit off, take that shit off. And I took it off, and it revealed a whole bunch of worms and shit coming out your face. And I got scared, man. I like, damn, man, I had a fresh ass hot top fade. Yeah, this ain't supposed to happen, man. This shit nice, dog. Look, man. Damn, this ain't dough on the back, man. And on the two sides. Dough. Ooh, you want one. But Sandra ain't gonna pay for all that. Damn. You know what I'm saying? We apologize. We were just cut off, unfortunately. Don't know what's going on, but we was cut off. Now, I told the story about Dead scaring the shit out of me and everybody, you know what I'm saying? And different things like that during the SIDE era. And some people say you was too high for TV. I mean, you was like always going in, you know, fucking people up, Dead. Like, seriously.
I don't have a lot of fond memories of destroying people. I didn't go in there thinking I would destroy anyone. I thought that these were enemies trying to make me where I was again. And as a result, I did what I had to do.
But you had the. Not to do, the.
You're making fun of me?
I ain't no deadhead feelings. Anyway. So, like I said, me and you, our feud was crazy. I mean, you scared the shit out of me.
One thing I didn't understand when I went against you on the various occasions I did in the SIDE era is why you would have so much fight. I remember time after time choke slamming, you know, just really trying to beat the daylights into you that you can't beat me, so stop trying. I remember doing that so much where it was like, why aren't you dead yet? You know what I mean? There were so many occasions where people would be like, Flamindo is dead, you know what I mean? I think it was like April 10th, 1970 to 1997. Flamindo's gone, you know, they thought you were dead, and you'll come back and say things like, I tricked y'all. That nigga ain't killed me. That bitch ass nigga can't kill me. And it would just blow my mind, you know what I mean?
Ain't no dead people had minds. But, so, I mean, getting into that feud was crazy. Of course, the infamous incident where you got barber clippers and shaved my forehead. You know what I'm saying, Dag? That took a whole lot. You know, fans really talk about that shit and say, you know, damn, like, you can't fake that. And you know, that's one thing that people don't know is we had legit fights, because you know, now finding this out, we didn't know at the time. We thought you was a, you know, just a scary, supposed to be dude wearing a mask, but now we know that you are truly a demon, Tammy Leroy DeVille. You know what I'm saying? That I'm killing this roach, dog. But you were truly Tammy Leroy the villain, and you back from the dead to take souls. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know that at the time. That's why then I would be wondering, like, why the fuck this nigga ain't dead yet? I hit you with a steel chair, shot you. You still alive, nigga? How? You ain't supposed to live this long. You supposed to been dead. And I'd just be tripping, you know what I'm saying, on how ain't you dead? How ain't you?
I started to realize that everybody truly thought that they could beat me, that they could kill me. And I toyed around with it.
Now, you know, going into it, you know, too, like you did the Dead Nation thing. You, John Carter, the pirate ship, and I think somebody else. I forget who else. But go into all that.
This is just who they teamed me up with. And although we were on teams, you know, we truly weren't friends. We were associates that believed in the same things and wanted nothing more than to bring the pain that we went through at a young age and put it on to others. I thought John Carter the pirate ship's story was real. I thought he felt the same pain I felt. That's why in SIDE we stuck together the longest, because I thought that we had the common pain. But of course later on I realized we didn't have the common pain. It was all made up. It was all fake. And I was the only true person to be about what I said I was about. And that's why, if I ever see that nigga in the streets, it won't be long. It won't be long.
So, you and John Carter, the pirate ship, of course, team up, Dead Nation going on. Y'all just remained dominant throughout the organization. You know what I mean? And it seemed like once SIDE crashed, that era was over.
Yes, of course, SIDE was knocked off by cartoons and, you know, different things like that. And with that going on, I wasn't going to be in a movie with Diddy Kong, somebody smiley and happy. Because he wouldn't have lived long himself.
But you were in a few movies. You had your own movie, Dead the movie. It had my sister Yosi. Shout out to my sister Yosi. And Ashley as well. You were a box office sensation. You had like 30 Dead movies, you know what I'm saying? So talk about that shit. And you know what's crazy is back in 2009 there was supposed to be a remake to the Dead movie franchise, and we had these pants for you.
Yes, I remember this.
we had these pants like customly made for you. They was like gothic, you know, pants, and they had like chains on them and shit. But we eventually used them on Lake Skeleton. You know what I'm saying? For a whole different character. You know, the pants ain't go to waste, but the movie did. That's funny to you, huh?
That's funny to you, huh?
Yeah, it's hilarious, Dad.
But the Dead movie was made from the stories I would tell. You know, I just, for some reason, I feel like everybody in the orphanage, my mom, my dad, my brother, everybody that either has died or that I've been in the world with, I feel like all of their dead spirits are a part of me in some way. And the Dead movies were stories I would tell. And the stories I would tell, I didn't experience, but it wasn't the experience of me. It was the experience of all the people I killed on my journey. The spirits in me. Because, truth be told, I am me. I am dead. But I am also the voice of the dead.
Crazy. Crazy as fuck.
And that's what those movies was based around. You know, again, they think it's a parody of Scream and all these other different things that they say the Dead movie was. But they don't truly know that the Dead movie was true stories from true people that have passed on.
Now with that, you know, you got very successful off of that. Was that you in the roles though, in the movies and shit?
No. But it was my energy.
Wow. So moving forth, SIDE ends. You know what I mean? And why didn't you get involved in any other XTV things? You obviously have an interesting story, I mean, and you know, your career just stopped at the SIDE. You didn't go to CAW. You wasn't a part of the, you know, their Reckoning era and Raws and all that shit, but what there were imposters of you. And, you know, you were becoming sort of a cult figure because on the Dare Reckoning era, speaking of that, there was people coming in saying that they was dead, but they wasn't dead. You know what I mean? It'd be like a motherfucker named Dead, and, you know, he just got a sting look to him. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so not dead because he's sorry as fuck. You know? And all these different imposters coming in. It was weird, Dad, you know.
I understood what I did set a new standard for XTV. And, you know, once I started to see things unfold, because I'm not the only XTV character that people thought was coming back during the Dare Reckoning era or whatever it was. A whole lot of people thought that Sus came back at a time when it wasn't even the real Sus, or White Fang, or Grayling, or whoever. They thought that that was them, but it wasn't them. You know, they thought that it was them sometimes, and they had gotten sorry from their previous years where they were successful. And people thought that was the same situation for myself. But they don't understand that those were imposters. Those were imposters of sis. Those were imposters of Brayling. Those were imposters of dead. It's an FNK episode where everybody is talking to Big Trunks D-Matic because on this episode, D-Matic,
You listen to FNK, damn. Are you the real dead nigga?
I am the real dead. Don't question my realness. But, so, just, it's just one episode of FNK, and on FNK, D-Matic loses his penis or whatever. And everybody's saying, it's okay, D-Matic, you'll be alright. And there's a fan that pops up saying, I'm dead. Sorry, you gotta have your dick. And it was a parody of me. It was to make me look weak or stupid. But I let it happen. I let everybody believe that all these different people coming in and out was me. But when I watched Day of Reckoning, and when I watched what Sis did to Charles Dean, that's when I started to know it was my time. And it took a while, but 07 marked 10 years. So I returned to the squared circle. They were shocked, they were surprised. Dead is back. But will he be done?
And let me just tell you, man, he was like no other. And we had factions around this time. Team Dark and, your team, even Dixie. I haven't interviewed her on my podcast, even though I'm getting a ton of requests to do Dixie. Even she didn't want to fuck with your ass, you know what I'm saying? On various occasions, Dad. You came back and it was like you never left and nobody really wanted to face you. I mean, you were so dominant. Damn, you was back in your prime again.
I never stopped being in my prime. Ever. They just thought the imposters were me. DT versus Dead, not the real me. Dead is now a member of man, not the real me. But when you see the entrance, when you feel it, then you'll know.
Now, of course, you came back 07, dominating, but your biggest controversy, even everybody talk about it. When you mention 2008, you can't mention it without talking about the era of the athletes, Brent Davis, Killer, Bobby Classic, and of course the infamous Vic Vicious incident. Now, this was an incident that took the XTV world by storm because nobody has ever been truly dead in XTV except, of course, Smiley and Happy that you killed. Now it was 2008. You back. You fight an up-and-coming rookie. But up to this point, because as you said, you kill people. What is it? Because, okay, we understand about Smiley and Happy. You feel like I guess they fake or whatever, or that they laughing at your life. However you feel, What did you feel about Vic Vicious that made you say, he's dead?
Arrogance. He thought he was better than everybody. He thought he was better than death. Of course I said I want to fight him in a Hell in a Cell match. And he ignorantly accepted it. Because he thought he was better than him. He thought he could beat him. What a rookie mistake. Climbing on top of the cell, I just knew by looking at the way he climbed, looking at that face he had, just like Tommy Lee or the villain had when he punched me with that right punch and made that look at me like, stop looking at me, you're dead. He had the same features, the same face. I turned him upside down, threw him off the roof, broke his neck, and he was no longer.
A lot of people really are terrified. You know, what is it about you? I mean, is there a lighter side to you?
There's no lighter side to death, no matter what people try to think. Everything that I once had is gone. The potential of having joy is gone. I lost it when my brother lost his mind. Emotions. I lost it when I was put into an orphanage. Life. I lost it when I choked on the remains of the most hated enemy within my life. So you asked me, 90, is there any joy, is there any type of thing that I have? No. No.
Well, Dad, you've had an illustrious career, man. You know what I'm saying? At this point, what do you see in the future? Like, where are you headed?
2017, I will return.
I just want to say this, though, Dak.
Feel free.
It'd be funny if you be getting your ass whooped on that shit, cause you sitting here like, I'm dead, I'm scary, I'm gonna kill this nigga. You on this Bray Wyatt shit, but I'm just gonna say, now if you promoting being on this new shit, this new era, and you get your ass beat, that's your ass, nigga. Damn it. Hey, right, that's it. Bullshitting though, bullshitting, man. You know, shooting the dozens, talking shit. Master P, Charlie's Angel.
I see myself coming back. Of course, regaining the world title.
Will that make you happy?
No. But it would piss everybody in XTV off. Because they can't beat me.
Yeah, man. I wrote something, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what you think. He got a human error. He life-phobic. It's on his mind cause his life is hopeless. He feel broken. He crazy, but his life retarded. Ask God for peace. All he did was harden it. The more he thankful, the more bullshit get welcome. Give God praise is the ways they helped him. He felt them, but felt dumb. He don't know who shit. His life feel broken, hopeless. Breathing whole time, wishing he wasn't breathing. Life is too hard, and it ain't no reason. What's your perspective on that, Dad? 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 Dad?